All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Judy Johnson. I'm with the Minnesota Private College Council. I want to thank you for taking time today to join us and learn more about what's new at our campuses for your transfer students. We are so thankful you took time from your busy day to join us. We will each be presenting for about 5 minutes and tell you what's new, what's exciting, scholarships, interesting information about our campuses for your students. This session is being recorded, and so we will also be posting this on our website in a few weeks, and we'll let you know when that's available if you want to share it with colleagues. We also will be taking questions for this during this session. You can put that into the question and answer section there, and we will address those questions after everyone's had a chance to present. I will also be following up, providing contact information for all these counselors with you, so that if you want to reach out to them after the session, you will be able to do that as well. We hope you received the transfer guide that we sent you, the electronic version. If there's any changes to that information, our counselors will also make note of that in their presentation, or you can ask them about it individually. But at this time, I want to introduce our first presenter, and that is Paul from Augsburg University. Paul?
Thanks, Judy, and welcome everybody. I believe I have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go pretty quick because I have a lot of information I want to get through for everyone. I'll kind of get started here. And since I can't see anything except for just my screen, if you can't see it, let me know, but I think we're ready to go. So my name is Paul Kimber. I'm one of the 3 transfer counselors at Augsburg University. My coworkers, Tim and Katie, are the other 2, and we have pretty much all the community colleges split amongst us in the state, and we will be working with you individually if you have any questions with your students as you're looking to transfer to Augsburg. So kind of one of the first questions we get from counselors is, when should their students apply? We really do strongly recommend that you have your students apply as soon as your entry term is available. And I'll kind of go through a little bit more about what those dates are coming up here, but essentially when they're in their last semester at the community college, that is kind of when we recommend they start on their application to the university. So with that, the application for us, it is free to apply. You apply with the Augsburg application. The application itself will take most students probably about 20 to 30 minutes to get through. A lot of the demographic information is kind of encapsulated with that, along with 3 short answer essay questions. Each essay question is capped at 200 words, so it really is some very succinct writing that students will be doing. And then they do need to request an official transcript from every college that they have attended to be sent over to the university. And then we do also ask for a high school transcript if they have fewer than 24 transferable credits. And then a letter of recommendation is optional. So essentially it's the application, official transcripts from every college. And then for some students, they might have some additional information sent in, whether that be the high school transcript or the letter of recommendation. So when it comes to transferring to Augsburg, we have many different pathways for students to get there. We do accept associate of arts degree or use the transfer curriculum. We have some specific pathways with different community colleges. The Augie plan is also specific for some different institutions as well. But in general, we really kind of let students know that as long as you have a C- or higher in a non-remedial coursework, it is going to be transferable to the university. And we can accept up to 96 credits for transferable and apply towards a degree program. Most students, that's going to mean that they do up to 2 years at a community college and then 2 years at Augsburg to complete their program. When it comes to scholarships and the cost of attending, applying by our priority deadlines is going to maximize the amount of scholarships that students can receive. Priority deadlines for the fall semester would be March 15th. And then if they apply by November 1st in the fall, they're looking at starting in the spring semester. Priority deadlines are going to have a couple different benefits for students. One is going to be the maximization of their scholarships. We do offer a $2,000 per year early Augie scholarship if they apply by that date. They also get priority registration when it comes to classes. Class registration opens for us in early April for the fall semester. And then we do open it up in usually about the second week of November for the spring semester as well. So another kind of reason to apply early. When it comes to the scholarships, that early Augie scholarship is the first one that students are able to receive just for applying by our priority deadlines. And then our merit-based scholarships range between $20,000 up to $28,000. The regents being based upon their cumulative GPA. For the legacy, if they have a parent that has graduated from Augsburg, or if they have a sibling that's currently attending. College access, if they were a part of a college access program, such as like College Possible or Avid, that would be one that they could receive as well. And then the additional scholarship would be if they're a member of PTK, they can receive a $2,500 scholarship as well. So they can kind of add these three different components together. The $2,000 early Augie scholarship, one of our larger merit-based scholarships, and then the PTK of $2,500. We also have a few different scholarships that are going to be able to cover up to their tuition costs through a combination of scholarships and grants. The first is the 2+2 scholarship. For students to receive this, they must complete their associate arts degree or the Minnesota transfer curriculum with 60 transferable credits. And it must be done within 4 semesters or less. So basically on track to graduate from Augsburg within 2 years. And with this, they find out after they have submitted their FAFSA to us if they're going to receive it because it is factoring in if they are eligible for the state grant and the Pell Grant. But basically what happens is we take their scholarships, their grants, and we add them together to equal their cost of attendance. And I will go 10 more seconds and I'll wrap up. We also have the full tuition scholarship as well. There are some additional requirements with this, such as the 3.5 GPA, but similar to the 2+2. And that's kind of all I have.
Thank you so much, Paul. So our next presenter is Holly with Concordia College.
Is my screen sharing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry, it looked weird on my end. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Holly Sager, and I work at Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota. We are a neighboring community with Fargo, North Dakota, if you're not familiar with us. Oh, sorry, I'm at the end of my slides. Let me skip forward here. We are in a town population of 200,000. We're a true college town. We have 2 other state institutions in our community. So we also have what's called the Tri-College program, and I can answer questions about that if you're not familiar about it later. We are a campus size of about 2,000 students. You can see we have 62 different countries represented on our campus with our robust international student population. We have 120 areas of study. And our students are very involved and engaged on campus. We're known for our Concordia Choir, Concordia Language Villages, and so on. We are organized into 3 different schools on our campus. We are the only liberal arts school in the region with a School of Business. We newly have the Sanford Highmark School of Health Professions, which has a brand new building opening in January 2023. And then, of course, we're rooted in the liberal arts and sciences. All of our students have coursework in the School of Arts and Sciences. Some of our notable majors would be business, biology, which includes pre-health professions, psychology, music, education, exercise science. And then some of our more unique programs, like I said, we have Concordia Language Villages, so language programs, heritage and museum studies, neuroscience, and clinical laboratory studies. To touch just a little bit on transfer credit, we accept college level coursework with a grade of C- or better. We are working on transfer pathways with the MPCC group, and we'll expand hopefully into some other areas like business. And we do accept the AA or MNTC as completion of the core curriculum. So you can see here on the left, if a student transfers in with an AA or MNTC, all of those areas would be fulfilled, and they would have 2 remaining areas, world languages and religion. They can transfer in those areas if they have taken coursework in those areas, but they aren't automatically completed just with the AA or MNTC alone. Moving into cost and scholarship, we reduced our tuition in the fall of 2021 by 36%. So we are now more accessible for students of different economic backgrounds. Our tuition is $28,400 for this fall. And then with fees, if a student were to live off campus, that would be $28,916 without any scholarships. Another component of our price reduction is a limited tuition increase. So we guarantee that tuition increases will be $1,000 or less throughout their time at Concordia. Every single student receives a scholarship from Concordia that ranges from $7,000 to $12,000 each year, and it's automatic with their application for admission. So there's no additional application there. And that, like I said, renews each year. There are additional scholarships. One that's not on here would be a PTK scholarship for $1,000. But there are additional scholarships, including the Gold Scholarship, which awards $25,000, so almost full tuition. We have talent scholarships and then also diversity scholarships, which stack as well. And then the last component of our price reset would be the CABR Assurance Program, which is a loan repayment assistance program. This provides a safety net for students upon graduation to help repay their loans. So dependent upon their income after graduation, they would be reimbursed a certain percentage of their student loan payments. The only qualifier to get this program would be to submit a FAFSA. It is available for the students of fall of 2022. I'm not sure if it'll be continued after that. I hope it will, but that will be available for any students who would be graduating and looking to come to Concordia this fall. And then lastly, our application is available online. It's completely free. There's no essay required. There's no deadline. So the application itself takes 5 to 10 minutes for a student to complete. Transcripts can be official or unofficial. High school transcripts would sometimes be required depending upon the number of credits they have completed. And then an admission decision and the automatic excellent scholarship decision are made and arrive to students within just a few days of their application being complete. We also send a transfer credit review, but with the registrar's office, just within a week usually of their admission decision being made. And then of course we ask them to apply for financial aid, submit the FAFSA, and I also help students with financial aid counseling. So I would serve as a one-stop shop there. And then just one last thing, our transfer students get priority registration. As soon as registration windows open, they are eligible to sign up for classes. So if a student were interested in spring, they could register now before our first year students get registered. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Holly. Okay, and then our next person is with Gustavus Adolphus, and that is Elizabeth.
Thank you, everyone. Hello, my name is Elizabeth Vine, and I am the transfer coordinator here at Gustavus, and just excited to be with you today among these great colleagues. So I will share my screen here. Is that looking good? Great.
Yep.
Okay, well, I will run through application process, scholarships, and transfer credits accepted and kind of next steps, how we welcome transfer students to the Gustavus community. With regard to the application process, students are encouraged to apply when we have the application available for the semester or term that they'd like to enter Gustavus. So we have transfer students come to us in the fall most commonly, but also January term, J term, and spring semester. For that application process, we require final high school transcript and transcripts from any college or university previously attended by that student, and those can be official or unofficial. And we also have a report called the Gustavus Transfer Report, just to ensure that students are in good academic standing at their current institution and didn't like throw a couch out a dorm or anything. So those are the pieces that we require for the application. And then once that is complete, students are eligible to receive merit-based or academic scholarships up to $30,000. And then talent-based scholarships and PTK can stack on top of that. So music, theater, and dance, and art. And then we encourage students, obviously, to file the FAFSA, and we get students their admission decision and complete financial aid award within a week or two of their application being complete. We don't have any formal deadlines for transfer students to complete their application just before classes start, and we start in the fall the Tuesday after Labor Day. So this year, Tuesday, September 6th. We have transfer student orientation activities a day or two before classes begin in the fall, January, and again in the spring semester. We don't formally accept the Minnesota transfer curriculum. However, students can bring credit-wise up to 16 different classes into Gustavus. So that's about 2 full years of credit. And we're on the unit system where 1 class equals 1 credit. So in a traditional like 3 or 4 credits per class system, this equates to about 64 credits that transfer students are able to bring into Gustavus. And these can fulfill major requirements, the liberal arts, general education requirements, or elective credits, but they all count towards the 32 classes needed to graduate. And also, like Augsburg and Concordia, C- or higher from accredited schools, non-remedial courses. New programs at Gustavus, we expanded our nursing program, and we have a new master's in athletic training coming in a year or 2. And then we've renovated and expanded our Lund Athletic Center and our Nobel Hall of Sciences. Little more on the student body here. Our average GPA is about 3.7, and we've been test optional, and are test optional obviously for transfer students too since 2006. And students at Gustavus are really engaged. Often students that choose to come here really like being involved in their communities, in their school, and want to really serve and give back and dive deep into our experience. Students do live on campus here all 4 years, and most transfer students do too, and will live with people their age and often with similar academic interests. But really, we work with students. So if you're working with students who want a liberal arts experience, we would love to be in touch and help them understand their graduation completion plan, along with the admission and financial aid process. So we really connect students even before admission to their academic advisor, to the professors, to help them understand what their time at Gustavus would look like. So I'll put my contact information in the chat here, but thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Okay, and next we have Kaya with Hamline University.
Hi, everyone. As Judy said, my name is Kaya Sherburne. I have been with Hamline University for almost 11 years now, and I'm excited to share with you about Hamline today. So I will go ahead and share my screen. All right, I also cannot see anything except my screen. So does this look okay?
You're good.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so again, I'm with Hamline University. Hamline is located halfway between Minneapolis and St. Paul. We have just under 2,000 undergraduate students. We are affiliated with the Methodist Church, and one of the biggest things that we take from that affiliation is a really strong commitment to social justice and advocacy on our campus. And you can kind of see that through everything we do with our students, faculty, and staff. We were founded in 1854, and we are Minnesota's first university. All right, try to get through all of this in the amount of time that we have. So we do have over 50 different areas of study. The largest programs that we have are our legal studies major, our business programs, and all of our concentrations. Certainly psychology is our biggest major on campus, and the other social sciences are quite popular as well. Biology and life sciences, and then English. Some of our unique programs are, we do have a social justice major, a creative writing major, criminology and criminal justice, We have a forensic science certificate and minor. We just added a forensic psychology concentration recently. We also have a computational data science major that combines computer science with problem solving. And then we also have a digital media arts major. So those are some of our more unique programs. In terms of the application, we do accept either the Hamline transfer application, which is right on our website, or the common application. There is no application fee. We do have a few different deadlines for the fall and the spring semesters. Our early action deadline for the fall is March 15th, and then our regular decision deadline is August 1st. For spring semester, our early action deadline is November 15th, and then our regular decision is January 10th. Otherwise, we are just on rolling admission and accepting applications and reviewing them as they come in. But there are certain class registration benefits to applying and knowing your admission decision by some of these early action and regular decision deadlines. What we require for the application, there is a personal statement that students write as part of the application. They are required to submit official transcripts from each college attended, even if it was PSEO or College in the Schools or something like that. We also have a Dean of Students form that students have to submit. Our optional application requirements are a resume, a letter of recommendation. Those are optional. ACT scores are optional. And then if a student has less than 24 college credits, then they also need to submit to us their high school transcripts. In terms of credit transfer, we do accept a maximum of 64 credits from a two-year college. Our residency requirement is 56 credits, so students do need to complete 56 credits at Hamline to earn a Hamline degree. We do use tests and transferology, so many students will find that helpful to be able to look up their credits ahead of time. There's always a caveat that if a student does not find their class listed in tests on our website or in transferology, it does not mean necessarily that it won't transfer. It could mean that we've never articulated it before, or it's been a while since we've articulated it, so we need to review it again. So always, always, always just please feel free to reach out to me and I can look up a class and let students know if they will transfer in. I always do unofficial evaluations for students and I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, students will get their official credit evaluation about a week after they have been admitted to Hamline, typically. Like many of my colleagues, we're looking for college level courses and a C- or higher in terms of the grade of the course for it to be able to transfer. We are working on the psychology transfer pathway and the upcoming transfer pathways that will be coming up in semesters in the future. We do have some legal studies and creative writing articulation agreements as well with some of our area community colleges. And the Minnesota transfer curriculum and the AA really does align with our Hamline plan. Just one more minute, that went really fast. To fulfill many of our general education requirements. Most of what students have left to do with that, they can fulfill within their major or their minor. Really quickly, I'll just point out our scholarships at the bottom. Our merit scholarship ranges up to $24,000 a year. We do offer Phi Theta Kappa scholarships, Hamline Heritage Awards if students have had certain family members graduate from Hamline. We offer first generation student scholarships for $3,000. And then admitted students can also apply for our departmental scholarships in areas like STEM, business, writing, theater, music, art, and digital media arts. So, okay, that went much faster than I thought it would, but that makes sense that it all does. If you have any questions, please feel free to just reach out to me. I'll make sure to put my contact info in the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Kaya. Okay, and now we have Christopher with Minneapolis College of Art and Design.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. As Judy said, my name is Christopher. I am an alumni. I was a transfer student. I now work in the admissions office as a transfer coordinator, and I am a current student again. So I'm doing too many things at once. But let's talk about MCAT. Enough about me. All right, so we are a very specific private nonprofit art design institution. We have 15 areas of study that range in fine art, design, media, and entrepreneurship. So we have a lot of interesting things to do, which means we are very specific in what we do. So a really important thing to realize is for transferring to MCAT, it's not always advisable to complete an AA before you talk to us. So the earlier you can do it, I would suggest doing it your first semester, second semester at the latest, because you might be ready to transfer at that point instead of completing the associates. We also have 10 different areas for minors. So we don't double major, but you can dip into different things. And one of the cool things about MCAT is it's on push for students to have a interdisciplinary practice. So regardless of what you study, you could minor or take electives in anything else. You could major in animation, but take all the furniture classes. It's really up to you. Quick overview, we are 800 students at the absolute most. So any given year, we're in the low 7 to 750s. And that's a combination of graduate students as well as undergrads. Our student to faculty ratio is about 10-1, but that changes any given year depending on how many students are on campus, but I've never seen it more than 13-1. 90% of first year students do live on campus. It is optional, it's not mandatory. 76% of alumni that report back to us have claimed that they are working in the field they majored in once graduated. And almost 50% of them consider themselves a business, whether they started their own actual business or are doing a lot of freelance work. A little bit about our campus itself. We are just south of downtown Minneapolis in a little residential area in Whittier. We share the block with the MIA and the Children's Theater. And our campus is open 24 hours to students every day of the year. So at Thanksgiving, if you had it up to here with family, you can go to your studio and work and really like screen print your frustration out. I want to talk about applying to MCAT. So we're still currently accepting applications on a rolling basis, which might not last for that much longer. But if you're interested, you can still apply to fall, but more than likely spring would be the easier thing. We do ask for you to submit high school transcripts, all college transcripts, one letter of recommendation, a brief statement of interest, 400 words minimum, not that big of a deal. Portfolio of artwork, but also optional SAT or SAT scores. We also encourage you to submit the FAFSA, but it's not necessary. If you don't want to use it, you can let us know and we can move forward without it. We do have early action deadlines of December 1st for fall semesters and October 1st for spring semesters. These early action deadlines give or award students / applicants an additional scholarship of a laptop, which is mandatory for all students on MCAT's campus to have. This laptop will be yours once you've earned it and received it at orientation. It could either be given as this scholarship or purchased as your first semester's tuition. The laptop also contains all the software you would need as a student. So even though buying it through MCAT is $18,000 to $2,000 or $20,000, it is still discounted with the software attached to it. Yeah, I think I ran through that super fast, but I do have additional slides that just show you things like housing and how it's apartment style, living room, kitchenette, because I'm taller than the refrigerator, so it's a kitchenette, it's not a full kitchen, but there's a stove, a sink, oven, refrigerator, bathrooms in the apartment, bedding, print shops for screen printing, meeting spaces, animation studios, sound studios. You want to record your mixtape and put it on SoundCloud? You can do that here. Or, record additional dialogue recordings for your animations or video work. Podcasting, gray studio. I'll do this until the bell chimes. Black studio, green sweep, big curved black sweep, film editing, media center. You don't have to own technology. You could check out cameras, tablets, soapboxes, everything you need here until you're ready to buy. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Christopher. It was kind of fun to see the campus. I hadn't seen it before. All right, and next we have Sherry with St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Sherry?
Hi, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. I'm here to talk about our new and exciting transfer policy. We have a lot of changes that have recently happened here at St. Mary's, so we're excited. Our new transfer policy allows for all campuses, so both our Winona campus and our Twin Cities campus, to fully accept all of the MNTC goal areas and there. So if they're doing the MMTC transfer, they're good to go. We will accept all of that. AA degrees will meet all of our general education requirements. That is, even if they receive a D in like psychology or class, that still meets the A as long as they have that AA, which is great. This is on both of our campuses. Another really exciting thing that is happening is that we are now changing to accepting C- credit grades, which is great. So that's new. And then I'm going to move on to our transfer credits. We now, like pretty much as I'm speaking right now, what is being decided is the policy committee is meeting to make sure that our residency requirement on our bachelor completion, our Minneapolis campus courses, or SGPP as we call it, will now be 30 credits in residency. So they really can transfer up unlimited up to the point of degree conferral. So they will have more options to transfer in even more credits. The only thing that's different about our Winona campus is that they would still need, as far as those transfer credits, to have a theology requirement. We do not have a theology requirement on our Minneapolis campus programs. This new transfer policy has really clear guidelines so that if they're going to our residential campus in Winona, they can transfer in and finish as few as 15 months, which is great. And then on our Twin Cities campus, our SGPP campus, we really are pushing for students to be able, if they choose so, to go full time to finish in as little as a year. So 12 months to completion with transferring in all their credits. So that, excuse me. So with that, we are looking to establish more pathways. We have some established already, but more pathways, especially with certain niche programs. You know, those niche programs will kind of be defined later on, but we're really pushing to have those pathways more pronounced and ready to go so that students know exactly. As always, as we've always done, that won't change. We're happy to do preliminary degree plans with your students at any time during their degree here at your school, so that we can talk about what they need and those goal areas to make sure they're meeting those so that they can do that. We're really pushing for students to complete their ASs or AAs at your schools, as that gives them the best transfer policy. They don't have to, but it gives them the best transfer credits possible. And then a little bit about our admissions and scholarships. So we have rolling admissions for our SGPP campus in Minneapolis, which means that in some of our programs, they're carousel programs, meaning they can start up to 6 times a year. So basically every 8 weeks in a few of our programs, they're able to start. Other programs start 3 times a year and some start 2 times a year. But we do have that rolling admissions that they can apply and be accepted at any time. And then once things are processed, we can get them started the next term available for their program. On our residential campus in Winona, we have gone test optional now and no essay. And I guess the big news for the residential campus is we have spots available starting fall of 2022 for our BSN program, which means students can transfer into our new BSN program We have a brand new state-of-the-art facility. It's beautiful. I've seen it. It's gorgeous. And then we also have some really good partnerships with Mayo and other institutions. And then I'm just going to wrap up with our scholarships. We have our bachelor's completion programs have scholarships, and those scholarships are, as long as they have an associate's degree at any time, they can transfer. And then with our traditional schools in Winona, they can have up to $27,000 worth of scholarships. So bachelor completion, we're looking for that associates at any point in time for a scholarship, which will carry through. And undergraduate, a lot of stackable scholarships available. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherry. All right, our last presenter is Gladys with St. Olaf College.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be sharing my screen for a very brief presentation, just to kind of get a sense of what kind of experience our transfer students have at St. Olaf. So they'd be joining a community of 3,000 students, right? Their academic experience is, of course, meant to be very interdisciplinary, just true to our liberal arts roots. And then if my slide will change here, there we go. For students, right, who are intending on continuing a major, it's going to be maybe a little bit of a secondary step. So we can, of course, do a preliminary credit evaluation, just given that we don't accept MNTC and it's not quite as clear of a transfer process for our students. Additionally, students who are expecting for maybe a full associates to transfer, that may not be the case for us. And the reason for that is because we also have a limit on how many, so let's say a student took PSEO courses in high school. If they didn't reach the 6 St. Olaf credit limit then, and then for any transfer courses that they're hoping to transfer, as long as it doesn't surpass the 18 St. Olaf credits, we have, of course, 1 St. Olaf credit equals 4 semester credits. So we can think about that as roughly like 72 credits that could transfer over. So keeping all of that in mind, we're going to want to see additional syllabi for courses that they're expecting to transfer to one of those 85 specific majors. But in terms of general credit transfer, students can count on that if they earned about a C or higher on their courses. As to music and nursing, that is a question that our students sometimes have. Transfer students are eligible to apply to nursing and music. So their process is a little more specific. For music, we just manually open a application for them, so they should really communicate that ahead of time. And then for our nursing students, there is an additional process they would go to. They would first apply to the college. Once admitted to the college, then they would be eligible to apply to the nursing department along current OLEs in the fall. So in terms of timeline for them, it is maybe more mindful for them to perhaps think about communicating with us prior to the fall. But if they're intending on starting during the fall semester, they may need to be aware that being admitted to the nursing major is not a given until they apply towards the end of the fall semester alongside current OLEs who are also applying to the major. And of course, let me know if any of this is unclear through the question and answer format through Zoom. As to our community, right, our students are going to have some form of orientation experience, whether it's in the fall or the spring. So we do aim to have their cohort undergo, a group-based transition to campus to make sure they're having a successful personal transition, being familiarized with our resources, and so on and so forth. As to our deadlines, I have one mid-year transfer deadline and one transfer deadline for students interested in joining us in the fall. St. Olaf, of course, has that 4-1-4 calendar. So we have fall, spring, and interim. Students are not allowed to start during the interim semester. It's just a harder transition for our students. So we've gotten rid of that option altogether. Students are eligible for merit scholarships, all the same as our first year students. And of course, we are still committed to meeting need for our transfer applicants. As to the materials that are required for our transfer students, it's going to be very similar to what we expect for our first year. So Common or Coalition app, high school transcript, regardless of how many credits they've earned, an official high school transcript, official current college transcript, and then a letter of recommendation. Students often ask me if that has to be from a current instructor, and it doesn't. We're of course understanding that a lot of our students may only have taken online courses, and maybe there is a supervisor or high school teacher that best can speak to their academic ability and personal values and such. So I'm a little flexible with it, even though ideally I'd prefer for those to come from a recent instructor. Very briefly, right, in terms of outcome and support, our students will still be able to access all of our departments on campus, including our Piper Center for Vocation and Career. So that's not something that they need to feel like they are going to be missing out on. That's certainly accessible to them. I'm the primary transfer coordinator for St. Olaf, and so have them reach out to me for additional questions. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Gladys. Thank you everyone for bearing with our chime, which was kind of a fun sound. We do have one question in the Q&A, and that was just wondering if Paul from Augsburg could just mention any newer best top majors for Augsburg.
Yep, and I just finished typing in the chat, but I would say probably our largest majors are going to be like biology, business. We have a lot of students that come for like pre-med, pre-PA, that will typically be one of the science majors. Some of our more unique ones, graphic design is one of our newer programs. We also have a music therapy program. I think we're one of one or two schools in the state that offers that. So a couple of our more unique programs we would have.
Great, thank you. Also in the chat, Lisa, our tech support, put in the link. We have a link on the Minnesota Private College site that lists all the majors for all of our institutions. So you can go to one place to check for majors for all our institutions there as well. So we do have just a couple more minutes. What would be your top advice to a community college student? What's your one piece of advice? And anybody can jump in and answer this one.
I have two pieces of advice, so hopefully that's acceptable. I would say to apply early, so don't wait until the last minute to apply, because there's definitely benefits in terms of getting registered for your classes early, getting your financial aid information early, having enough time to review everything and make a good decision for yourself. So applying within the timelines is always good. And then visiting campuses, I think, is super important as well. Making sure that you're looking at all the campuses that a student is interested in, so that you can really make a good decision and find the school that's the best fit for you.
Thanks, Kai. Anybody else have some advice?
I'd probably say that for students, if there is any way possible for them to enroll full-time in the community colleges, the benefits of that, especially if they are lower income and utilizing Pell and state grant, just because of how many terms like the state grant can be utilized for. Don't want students to run into the fact that they might have gone part-time for 7-8 semesters, and then they're looking to transfer and they kind of exhausted their state grant eligibility. So that kind of be my advice, is if at all possible to enroll in a full course load.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Other thoughts?
I have one, if you don't mind. Ask your question now. Don't wait to do it, but also share your portfolio with me sooner than later. Like, you don't have to build it yourself. You might be afraid or hesitant or anxious to put together a portfolio, but you could always reach out to me and we could talk about putting it together, the both of us. So you don't have to be worried about it and just hope that it's fine. We can know it's fine before you submit it.
Great, thanks, Christopher. Other pieces of advice? Okay, I'm going to jump in with one piece of advice, and that is, if you are looking to go on to specific careers that might require graduate school, we can also answer questions about prerequisites for your graduate school applications. So we are key advisors for you at any point in your career path, but it's really helpful to talk to us early. So like if you're pre-med, to make sure you're taking the right sciences, the right math. If you're pre-engineering, do you need that one specifics course or the other physics course? So those are the types of things we're available. We are a low pressure group. You are free to contact any of us at any time to ask for advice and questions. We're not going to force you to come to our schools, but we are going to help you do sound decisions on course selection, timing, how long you stay at the community colleges, being mindful of that financial aid so you don't run it out. Those are key components, and some of the common problems we see when students wait too long to contact us or stay too long at the community colleges. So we are here to be considered resources for you. I'll just wrap up with saying that we do have the Minnesota Private College Council is doing a pathway project. If you have questions about that, let me know, but we are building pathways to 6 majors at all the community colleges in the state. If you want to be sure that your community college has a pathway that you want a specific school to make, let me know. I will be sending contact information for all these fine counselors to you, so you can contact them individually for questions. But we do want to thank you for your time with us today. Please know that we will be sending you an email with a link once this recording is posted. And again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for all your work you do for community college students. Your work is indispensable, and we know that you prepare students well, and we love to have your students come to our institutions.